Could this mean something? And the signage. Okay guys, so we've currently gone to Saw the Ride, about to go, we have just spotted something. No signage on Saw Line, and no signage at the entrance to Saw Line. See a room of Saw Line forever.
What's going on, guys? Nathan here, back again on the channel, bringing you yet again another video. I hope you can hear me a bit clearer now. I've got a new microphone. It's a Blue Yeti, so hopefully you can hear my voice a little bit more. You know, the gain is a bit better, so you can actually hear me well. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing the key feature of the horror maze at Thorpe Park, and that is Saw Alive. Now, Saw Alive is a live action horror maze which opened in 2010 as a follow-up to the ride Saw the Ride, which opened in 2009 on the resort.
New for 2010, Saw Alive, the world's most extreme live action horror maze, and Saw the Ride at Thorpe Park.
Key sponsors to the Saw Alive maze was Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures, obviously associated to the films. As of this year, if Saw Alive did open, it would have been the longest reign for a horror attraction, standing at 8 years, which would have been 2010 to 2019 as such. But as it stands, it's now joint first to the longest reign with Asylum, which opened in 2005 and closed within 2013 at the end of the 2013 season. A bit of history for Saw Alive I'd like to cover, just in case you don't know exactly what Saw Alive is. Obviously Saw Alive, like I've said, is a live action horror maze. If you don't know, Saw Alive is actually located on a boat, so the actual maze is actually planned out as being constructed within the insides of a boat, believe it or not. So the boat itself is actually known as the Thorpe Belle. This boat has actually been located within various different locations throughout the resort, these being in 1985 to 1989 it was moored at the Customs House as the Thorpe Belle Riverboat Restaurant. And then following up to 1990 to 1997 it was moored next to the Calgary Stampede in Canada Creek as a China diner. 1998 to 2008 it was moored at the Customs House yet again for private hire and corporate hospitality, as well as an education centre. And as from 2010 to present day, it's been moored up to Saw Island as what we know as Saw Alive. Also a bit of a backstory on Saw Alive as well. I'd like to go into a bit more detail on it because this maze has a lot of key history. Saw Alive is actually based on 6 rooms, which are obviously based on 6 scenes from the horror franchise Saw. Saw was a big hit back in the day. I mean, it still is now to an extent, but not as much as it was back then. So obviously this is when Thorpe implemented this to Fright Night, so obviously it was very, very successful during them stages of the island. In late 2017 as to early 2019 there was many rumours of the boat or should I say Saw Alive actually sinking, and a lot of enthusiasts can actually back me up on that one. What makes us think Saw Alive, what makes me think personally won't return? The main reason to me why I think Saw Alive won't be returned to this year's Fright Nights lineup of 2019 is the removal of certain props from within the maze and which have been moved into the Saw the Ride area, which I'll get to in a minute. So these props are mainly including the Billy the Puppet model, which is obviously seen within the movie Saw franchise. So within Saw Alive, within the pre-show room, you come face to face with Billy himself, and you know, you go through the same old very famous saying, live or die and make your choice. You have to get through stages of 6 rooms to make it out alive. Yeah, I'll put some footage in the background now of, you know, some maze footage that I got within the 2018 press event and the 2017 press event, so you can, you know, be sure to give that a watch if you will. It's a very, very good video, and I highly recommend watching that. It took me a lot of time to edit, but I was very proud of the outcome at the end of it. So yeah, definitely worth a watch in my opinion. And it was very good fun as well, and thanks again for Thorpe inviting to give myself and my friends that experience. So thanks a lot, Thorpe.
Go wall. Get me a Let me get a look at all of you. You lowlifes are all here for a reason. You failed to appreciate your own humanity. It's now your turn. Darling, press that button. Go on, babe. Do it. Press it. Go on.
Yeah, play to the TV.
Get in the mood! Get moving!
So yeah, there's three Billy the Puppet models actually at Thorpe, and one of them is actually from the movie. So the real Billy the Puppet model, which was used throughout the movies, can be located within Saw the Ride. You come face to face with Billy himself, but only if you go on the second cart when you actually board the ride. As you're boarding, if you board the first cart, you skip the pre-show and you go straight through out and then onto the actual sequence of the ride itself. But if you go onto the second cart, believe it or not, which I highly recommend because you get a better experience, I guess, you come face to face with Billy, gives you a little talk about how long you got left to live, and then you have to make your choice and stuff and go through, and brings that source of fear to the ride, which is really, really good.
Time is against you. Live or die. Make your choice.
And yeah, that is the real Billy the Puppet from the movie, believe it or not, which is a really, really good implementation to the ride because it adds, a bit of history to it, which I really, really love. But no, that's just a little key factor for you guys to know. There's two other Billy the Puppets, and you've got one within the photo room of Saw Alive. Obviously, when the maze was open, your first introduction, you would get a photo with Billy, and that would be your photo for the maze, and you could buy that at the end when you come out. So that's the first one. That's fake. And then the second one is located within the electrification room. That would be the second room you actually walk through within the maze itself. So as you're walking around with others, hands on shoulders, that would be the second room you encounter. And as you're going through the strobes, you can actually see a puppet within electrification room. And if you've ever been in it, you'll probably know what I'm on about. But no, neither of them are real, apart from the one I stated, which is actually within Saw the Ride. But they are very, very, very identical in my eyes. But it's good key features to the actual maze which they implemented. But I am going to really, really miss the attraction. And it's a shame because it kind of really fitted the area. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the actual area of Saw Alive, because there's many reasons why I feel like the boat isn't going to be used for another maze, which I'll get into later in the video. I'm now going to discuss the reasons, or my personal reasons, and other people's reasons as to why I feel like Saw Alive will not be returned to the resort. Firstly, both of them puppets within Saw Alive, the one in the photo room and the one in the electrification room, have been moved into the Saw the Ride area. The one in the photo room, I believe, has been moved into the station, and the one in the electrification room has been moved within the... As you go into Saw the Ride, there's a fast track queue line. It's where you cut in front of the main queue, and that has been moved just inside there by one of the traps, but where actors used to use that area for acting space. So that's been moved there. I'll pop that on the screen right now just to make that a bit clearer. So no, that's one main reason as to why it's kind of confirming it going, and it's definitely not returning. Secondly, because all the signage from the actual attraction, that being the restrictions, health and safety, all the signage is completely gone. So that's another confirmation that I feel like it's not returning. And the main reason is because of a recent post which was taken by a Media TP, I think, on Instagram or Twitter, one of the two. I'll link him his Instagram or his socials below in the description to check him out. He does some good, get some good shots of the island. But he released an image, and this image I'll pop on the screen right now. This is full on confirmation. It's not returning. There's if you think it's returning, then fair enough. You can believe, but it's pretty much confirmation that maze is gone. They've painted over the Saw Alive logo with a grey layer of paint, and they've done this on both sides of the boat. So there's no Saw Alive logo anywhere anymore. So it's very high confirmation that it will not be returning to the Friday Night Sun. So no, it's a shame because that maze meant a lot to me in my heart, and it probably did for many people. But as the years goes on, it didn't really change. It was the fact that it was probably one of the mazes out of the lot that you had so many close encounters with, because it seems you're in such a confined space throughout the maze, and it means you get so up close with the actors, so it adds such a more bigger scare factor towards it, which is mainly what you need in a maze. You need close encounters, you need jump scares, and I felt I got quite a lot of them in that maze. So yeah, it's definitely going to be missed, but I'm really interested to see what Thorpe's going to do in terms of the lineup for this year at the resort for Fright Nights. Yes, if you have any questions for me, please drop them in the comments down below, or not email me, or drop me a DM in my socials or something, and I'll give you an answer. I should be able to answer your questions. Don't get me wrong, I don't work there, I don't know everything, but I'm here to cover what I can. Yeah, this is something I'm definitely going to be covering as much as I can of. And lastly, before I shoot off, I'd like to drop and leave this here for you guys to discuss over, and I'd like to see what you think. So I'm going to drop this on a bit of a question for you, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. The games are finally over, and I'll speak to you guys in a bit. Peace.